Greetings viewers and welcome to my channel. In our last session of the series, my guest Khusro Sahib redefined success and talked about God, spirituality and traveling into the unknown. For your convenience, links to the last three sessions appear in the description of this video. Now let's start with session 4. Khusro Sahib, in our previous sessions, you talked about God, but you did not mention about the religion. Can you explain that?
I would be happy to explain that. Um, let's start with where uh, religion started. Religion started because God decided to explain to mankind why and how he was created. Now, he did that by uh, speaking through what we now know as messengers, people in the community, whether they were ordinary people, whether they were kings or princes. He chose messengers, and through inspiration, they carried his message to the general public. And this has been going on for centuries. And every few hundred years, God felt it necessary to repeat the message through a new messenger so that the new generations could also hear directly from them. Now, in the last 1500 years, there has been no message. Maybe the reason is that what people did with the message is that they eventually codified them and had them printed. Now, theoretically, it was the same message. So it should have been only one religion. But in practice, that did not happen. And people created different books according to their understanding, according to their codification. And people are worshipping the same God in different mosques, temples, churches, synagogues, whatever you call it.
You are referring to the four books. Are you calling them a compilation by the man? Because the general belief is that those are the words of the God.
No, they are the message that was. So the message came from God, and it is according to each understanding of the receiver that they codified them. And they believe that this is the original message. And, they may argue about it. But not only did they do that, but they formed themselves into different religions. And not only did they do that, they compete with one another to say who is right. And one person is right. They're not saying the other person is also right. They're saying the other person is wrong. So we have a division. Now, I'm not trying to justify the case of one religion over another. All I'm saying is, the reason why I'm saying that we should not get into this controversy is because we are facing a common threat. all of human beings are facing a common threat. And this threat is not coming from religion. The wars that are happening, whatever the powerful are doing, they are not doing it because they're saying, I want to impose my religion on somebody else. Religion has very little to do with the bad state of affairs. In the past, there may have been religious wars, but the threats that we are facing today have nothing to do with religion. And so I don't want to confuse people. I want them to unify under one banner to sort of say, this is a common threat to all of humankind. Now, let me give you an example. And this is a good time to give an example of Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King was a Christian priest. He never justified what he said from a religious point of view. I would recommend very strongly that you read his speech on Vietnam. There is no mention that his approach is a Christian approach. And his appeal is for humanity. His appeal is to sort of say, why are we imposing on other people? Why are we unnecessarily waging wars, killing them? It is our responsibility not to do this. But never once did he quote the Bible. So, to my mind, Martin Luther King is one of the greatest Americans who has lived. So I apologize if I'm a fan, but I am no Martin Luther King. I'm a very ordinary man. And I don't have any following. He was a great man. And you know, he died at the age of 39. Imagine what he could have done had he not been killed at that young age. But whatever he said lives on. So I hope that clarifies. I think it's important because, you know, I don't want people upset. People might be upset with me that you are a Muslim. Why don't you quote from the Quran? You know, the religions are saying the same thing, but, you know, this is not, is there a need to justify that we are living in an unjust world and going towards more injustice? I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, you gave the example of Dr. Martin Luther King. That is very appropriate because few days back we had his day, like, you know, MLK.
And that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. In America, it is a federal holiday.
Yeah.
So even those people who are opposed to him,
yeah,
and probably were responsible for taking his life,
yeah,
are recognizing
right,
that he meant well,
right.
that he meant for all of humanity.
So we can proceed further.
So what I want to do, one other thing I want to do today, you know, people might say, well, this is all philosophy. This is all theory. And, you know, we can't practice it. And it would be a valid question. And so today I want to talk to you that I have a case history of somebody who practiced it. And this is a former boss of mine, Agha Hasan Abedi, who founded the Bank of Credit and Commerce. When I joined BCCI, I was a young man, and I heard him speak. I was struck by the fact that what he's saying makes sense. What he's saying, I also believe in. So it was not news to me. You know what was news to me? What was news to me was, why is he saying this in a commercial organization? This is a bank. He's not talking about banking. So my first reaction was, can this be practiced in a commercial organization? That is what impressed me. His philosophy was good, but it's not his philosophy. So this is not my philosophy. I was inspired by him, and I will give him credit for using some of his language. But the proof to me was that Agha Hasan Abedi practiced this philosophy and founded a very successful bank until it did not suit the powerful, and they closed it. Martin Luther King was killed. Agha Hasan Abedi was not killed, but his bank was closed. And I'm not going, this is not the time for me to argue whether it was closed rightly or wrongly. But, you know, Agha Hasan Abedi may have made mistakes, BCCI may have made mistakes, and so on. But this is the second time he did it. He founded United Bank, and in United Bank also, he practiced the same philosophy. And that bank rocketed up. So I want to make the connection that we should study, and I intend to recommend that people study how this can be practiced in a commercial organization. It doesn't have to be a bank. It can be Coca-Cola. It can be an IT company. It can be, because this is about leadership. How to provide leadership. How to motivate people. People are motivated by serving humanity. If they are earning a living and at the same time earning humanity, this is win-win. So these are foundational things that I want to talk about, because people might say, oh, this is just philosophy, and yeah, it's very nice. But how can we practice it? So I'm sure there are many other examples of people practicing it. And if we look for them, we will find them. So I'm giving from my personal experience the case study of BCCI.
I can resonate with what you said, because I've been associated with United Bank, also with the Bank of Credit and Commerce. I recall the spirit that Agha Saab put in us, and we believed in those things and worked tirelessly.
You can, and every single employee, high or low, was inspired to give their best. You can inspire people through money and sort of say, achieve this goal and you'll get a bonus. Achieve this goal and you'll get a promotion. And people are motivated by such methods and techniques. But this is not what Abedi offered. He said, this is your chance of a lifetime to combine the two. And he used the word, the unity of moral and material. They are two sides of the same coin. We are not dismissing the material, but we are saying you have to combine the two. So what happened in BCCI is that without being offered bonuses or promotions, people gave much more than people give when they are offered bonuses and promotions. They were not necessarily the brightest of people. They were like you and I. But they were the most motivated of people. So my main point here is to emphasize that whatever we are saying can be put into practice.
We can proceed further if you want to.
I want to establish these 2 points today, and in subsequent sessions, we will dig more into submission to God, service to humanity, success, humility, giving, leadership. It's a combination.
Yeah.
That if you follow these other principles, you will become a leader who has the highest of goals. Our emphasis is continuously have a goal higher than just the material, have a goal higher than just profits. Otherwise, you can be purchased. Otherwise, you will sell your services to the highest bidder. Then you are subscribing to the lowest common denominator. We have to aspire to subscribe to the highest common denominator. And the only reason people don't do that, not the only reason, but one of the reasons may be that they think that this cannot be practiced. That goodness does not bring, breaking the rules or doing deceitful things are necessary in order to make profits. Nobody is watching. The regulators are there, but the regulators can be influenced. The regulators can be threatened. So, what better regulator than your own conscience? So, you have to decide. You have to answer to yourself.
Thank you very much, Khusro Sahab, for sharing your valuable thoughts with us. So, viewers, we come to the end of this session of the series. I hope you liked it. If so, please like and share this video as much as possible. Please also subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so that you keep updated with the future uploads. I will encourage and appreciate your questions and comments on this video. Please write them in the comments box. You may also send your comments and questions by email. The email address is askkelly@alimakhtar.com. All this information is also mentioned in the description of this video. Till next time, have a wonderful and thoughtful time. Thank you.